If you thought Eternatus was filthy in standard, wait till you see it in expanded. Come check it out.
Hi guys, Sean the Bufflin here, and welcome back to another PTCGO video. Now, if you thought Eternatus was absolutely filthy in standard, then it is absolutely the gnar in expanded. It's naughty. It's horrible. And there's several reasons for this. The main reason is because you have so much access to and so many tools available to this deck, so many things that you can use that just make it next level ridiculous, and we'll go through some of them now. So firstly we'll start with Darkrai EX that has Dark Cloak, so each of your Pokemon has any Dark Energy in play, have no retreat cost. We have two very viable GX attacks in the GX attack of Zoroark, which has Trickster that can copy an opponent's attack, so if they Brave Blade you, for example, Zacian, you can just Brave Blade them right back and take the return knockout, and they're not likely to knock out your Eternatus either, but there again, Eternatus is usually most likely to knock out Zacian anyway. But if you couldn't find the correct amount of basics, but could find the energy attachments, then you can just use Trickster. And then the other one is Darkrai GX. Now this card is the naughtiest thing ever, because it revives itself with a Dark Energy anyway. You're playing Dark Patch, which is an Energy Accelerator card that this deck has access to, and then its GX attack reads Dead End. If your opponent's active Pokemon is affected by a special condition, that Pokemon is knocked out. That's it. Clean, little max to the face, clean knockout. That card is just absolutely turned sideways, gone. So that's what Darkrai GX does. And also, because its continuous ability to restore itself onto your bench means you're always going to get an additional 30 for the attack of your Eternatus VMAX. Eternatus VMAX, as you know, has the ability that's very much like Skyfield, where you get to play 8 Pokemon onto your bench if they are all Dark type, so that is the distinct difference between the two. So we have a lot of draw support in this deck, and it comes in the line of the free line of Zoroark that has trade. Once per turn you can discard a card and draw 2. So because N is in this format, Zoroark is like the anti-N card. It's also the anti-Dusknoir Trevenant card, and it's also the anti-Ace Trainer card. And we also obviously play for Crobat, which allows you to draw up 6. So you've got plenty of draw supporters, and because of the amount of draw support you have in your Pokemon, you can also play supporters that aren't draw supporters. So a lot of the times your Eternatus VMAX won't be knocked out in one hit, and when this is the case, you can play Acerola, scoop your Eternatus VMAX right back into your hand, and you can do that a maximum of 5 times because you do play 4 VS Seekers, to the point where your opponent just quits probably by the second one, because if they can never knock out your Eternatus VMAX that's constantly putting on pressure and constantly smacking them in the face, then how are they meant to deal, basically, how are they meant to deal with it? Because you've got Dark Patches to continually charge up the bench Eternatuses as you go on, and every turn all you need to find is a VS Seeker and a Dark Patch, or an attachment as well, and you've got it going. So obviously that's why that's so strong. There's the draw support of Colress and expanded, which is insane, especially with the Eternatus VMAX's ability that you can put 8 Pokemon into play, so you're immediately drawing 8 off yourself, plus whatever Pokemon your opponent puts into play, so you can draw a maximum of 16 if they're a Skyfield deck. We have your boy Guzma, because why not? Your boy! To take bench knockouts, and we have a single copy of N ourselves in case our opponent starts to run away with the game somewhat and you need to rein them in a bit. We have a Pokemon Ranger deck because I've heard ADP is good, and unlucky, Pokemon Ranger absolutely nails that and takes away the whole deck's point of existing, because it removes the GX attack off the board and they cannot GX attack again. So not only do they not get the additional damage, but they don't get the additional prize cards, and their day is generally turned upside down. So that's why Pokemon Ranger's in here, and we of course play 2 Professor's Research because we don't mind discarding things in this deck because we have so many ways of getting things back. We do also discard a lot of things using Battle Compressor, so Battle Compressor's main target is our Darkrai GX. Puts that into the bin with an energy, can restore it, and if very need to, I have taken some very early 1-game wins with Donks by a very lucky battle compressor for one of these and 2 energy, knowing that I've got a dark patch in hand. I've restored the Darkrai with its energy from the bin, used Dark Patch, got the attachment for turn, hit the Toxic Laser, and knockout with Dead End. That's why Dead End's so filthy, because it can just take surprise knockouts out of nowhere. We played 2 copies of Parallel City, and the only reason towards Parallel City and not any other stadium is that we never want Parallel City being used against us. So Parallel City makes a lot more sense to use in this deck against other people than Chaotic Swell. It also makes the matchup in our favour against the mirror match ridiculously good. So that's why we play Parallel City. And then we play 2 copies of Floatstone for additional retreat and 8 Dark Energy, and then a bunch of consistency cards, Quick Balls and Ultra Balls to search our Pokemon, and a Rescue Stretchers to get them back. So that is all for the deck list, and we will be right back with some games. So we are here for our first game with what I have dubbed Zoranatus. So let's see how this goes. And judged by my opponent's deck box, we may be playing against the Snorlax deck, but we could be against anything because it could just be a generic deck box. And we do see a Dedenne on my opponent's side, so the fact that we're losing 2 VS Seekers this early isn't great, but we are immediately going to have our Eternatus in play with an energy and anything else that we can find off our Ultra Ball for a Crobat. So, just double check our prizes. We have a Zorua prized, we have a single copy of Eternatus V prized, we have a Battle Compressor prized, we have 2 Dark Patches prized, no, we have 1 Dark Patch prized, sorry. We have 1 Ultra Ball prized, and that's all I can see. Oh, and a Floatstone, and possibly an energy. No, and a Floatstone, yeah. So there are our prizes, so not too bad. And we would like to draw 6. Indeed we shall. And this is why I say that the Parallel City is extremely helpful for us. So if we see a Chaotic Swell come into play for my opponent, it's not the end of the world. We are against Mad Party. So this is a hard match, but with our Acerolas we may prevail. But we have also prized a Floatstone, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Our prizes, considering the matchup, is actually quite bad. Especially the early discarding of the VS Seekers. So seeing 2 Dedennes in play from my opponent already makes me happy. And now they'll only have 1 more space for either a Sinistea or a Marshadow, as we'll probably see at some point. So down Special Charge already, a VS Seeker, Great Capture, all things that I'll be happy to see. Target Whistle, I don't know why I played that so early, just kind of helps me in a sense. Might have just been to thin his hand down for a Crobat. We see an Instructor Rangaroo. So because of Parallel City putting in so much work, we're not going to see a whole lot of benching from my opponent. And he does simply hit us for 120. So we could potentially go Guzma on this and buy ourselves a turn. Probably totally unnecessary. So we'll just Crobat. And unfortunately, we are just going to have to Guzma this in and hit for 30. So not the best start in the world, but not the greatest starting hand either, or not the greatest prizes considering what's going on right now. But my opponent can't go for another didnt. He may have to waste another bunch of resources going for another Professor's Research because he has no way to put Synasthes into play to conserve his hand just by drawing off the T-break. So we do see an Ultra Ball discarding 2 resources, which again is perfectly fine by me. And another discard of an Energy, which is also fine by me. And we do see a Professor's Research. So we'll see what he discards here. Mr. Ryman, another VS Seeker. So all things good to see go. It means that he's also not going to be able to Guzma this in this turn. He is looking for his second copy of Floatstone, I would imagine. Or she is. So our Acerola is in deck, and that's important because Acerola being in deck is all we realistically need to get this party started. I assume next turn he'll probably want to go for the Guzma. See another Battle Compressor. And unfortunately, due to our current draws, we are just stuck. Which is very annoying, obviously. But there's not really a whole lot we can do about that, so we'll just Power Accelerator our way to victory, apparently. If my opponent has prices of a copy of Floatstone, and I don't see why they'd play Acerola or AZ in this deck, my opponent may be entirely stuck and have to pay yet another energy to retreat this, which, considering he's down his special charge and a copy of DCE already, and then he'd lose this DCE once he takes an attack. And now we see a Professor's Research, so see what we're seeing discarded here. Another VS Seeker. Pokemon Ranger Guzma. I don't know what he just discarded. Oh, more Battle Compressors. So Ultra Ball is trying to thin his way down to find the Floatstone, obviously. So it must be in deck, which this Trainer's Mail will grab him it. If it is in deck. If it's not... Escape Rope. Okay. So my opponent only has 8 cards in total to work with. And here we will just give him... how many Mad Party does he have? So 80, 160... 220, 240, 260, 280. So yeah, we'll just give him Dark Regiax because it can always be restored anyway. We potentially the correct play to make there would have been to give him a Crobat, and then we could have quick balled away the Zoroark next turn. So he plays another VS Seeker. And that's his 4th VS Seeker. Guzma, that's fine by me. Now, if he doesn't pull Floatstone off the prizes here, and I find my field blower to get rid of this, then it definitely will have lost. So we will thin this hand right down. Let's get this out. Just put this in the discard. We will grab this just because we will need more draw supporters at some point. And we'll crowbar for 3. And we finally find our Eternatus VMAX, so that's all we needed. And this is where you'll see the raw power of Colress come in. And we will definitely, or should definitely, draw an energy off of this Colress. So we get to save the VS Seeker, and that's the important thing, and as you can see, a whole shed ton of energy. And we can use Battle Compressor to get rid of some unnecessary cards. So, Quick Ball we will be no longer needing. Pokemon Ranger we will not be needing. And I think I'll keep N around just in case. And get rid of the other Parallel City potentially. Yes, because I don't think that's going to come into play at any point. And now is where we go computer search for the Crobat and the energy to find the field blower if it's in deck, which I should have checked that obviously. So we will just grab N for next turn, I think. Yep. And dread N for our first knockout on a poor little Bunnelby. Our field blower being prized is quite a pain because it does allow him to continuously attack now. Depends on if my opponent got energy out of the prizes or not, because he is down 2 and he is down special charge. So there's his energy. And seeing N ourselves is good for us because it just grabs us closer to decking my opponent out. And we do find the Acerola, so this is where you'll see very likely that we see a scoop from my opponent. I don't know why he's playing all these cards down. That seems very pointless because now, because he's not Guzmarin, if I drew N, which I haven't, but if I did draw N, I could literally just end him to a loss. And there's an easy victory. I think my opponent didn't really quite know how to deal with this particular deck in that case. So we will just move on to game 2. So in the team challenge there have been 2 qualifiers for our store. I was the one to qualify number 1 in our store, and the other player to win qualifier 2 was the person that I'm facing right now. So I'm expecting a good match. And we do have a good start. And I am going first. So this will end up being a battle of attrition because there is a lot of potential for my opponent to be getting health buffs. That being said, I can take a cheeky knockout out of nowhere, as I mentioned in the start of the deck video, with the Darkrai GX, sorry. So we're going to see a Volcanion in the active. So we will battle compressor to get our other Darkrai and an energy, and we're not going to need Pokemon Ranger in this match, I wouldn't say, so probably just discard that. Yep. We'll make an attachment here. We will just play this just to use it. I'm going to hold on to the second Floatstone as I only play 2. And I will go for our boy Crobat. And I will also check my prizes since I didn't do that to begin with. So we've prized 1 Zoroark GX, we prized a Crobat, we've prized a VS Seeker, and we prized a copy of Research, and we've prized about 2 energy, so not too bad prizes. And I think here I'm just going to Dark Patch onto this boy so I can get him set up for next turn. And I will retreat into this Crobat so that he doesn't find any way to knock out my Zorua. I don't think there would be a way, but better to be safe than sorry. Whereas I don't mind him knocking out Crobat because it is potentially a rescue stretcher target down the road. So we do see a Fiery Flint. And it's very likely that we'll see a Welder here. Onto a Eevee and Snorlax, so we're going to see a Welder box deck of some sort. Very annoyingly, this can hit for 240. Which I suppose in Expanded is actually better than Flare Strike for the same energy cost. Which we do see a Flare Strike come down. Or, you know, Reshizard. See Heat Energy here. Seems a bit of a waste to me. I would have attached a normal Fire Energy here and put the Heat Energy here on the next turn. So we are going to be playing a 4 prize card game, as it would seem. So, put this down. And unfortunately, we are going to lose another Research, which I'm not a fan of. Just in case we somehow miss the attack, see if we can put it to sleep, which we do. And I'm not going to bother attaching, which seems a misplay, apparently. And I'm going to Battle Compressor away one of our Eternatus VMAXs because we need one to put into play. And then I don't think N is going to serve us any purpose anymore, although we are down a lot of VS Seekers, so I think at this point just the Quick Balls, the Ultra Ball, sorry. So we will discard our other copy of Parallel City. And not great, but not the end of the world either. Put a Pokemon into my hand, grab this. And unfortunately we will not be Dead Ends GXing this game. So we'll put this here. And we will Dread End this for knockout. And take our first prize. So the question now is, will we see a double blaze for the full 300 damage. I think we'll just see a flare strike. Oh, so he's going for the double blaze full 300, which to me seems a bit of a risk, especially as he didn't get down a heat energy. So we do have another one of these in play. So we'll start by putting him down, and we will discard an energy. We do have the dark patches. We have all of the dark patches, unusually. And I'm pretty certain my opponent will not play a way to spread damage. So we'll get this into play. Very unfortunate that we didn't take a knockout there. I think the best thing to do would be to retreat here. And just dread end. So we've got 3 retreats used to Darkrai, so my opponent does need to find a Lysander or a Guzma this turn to be able to take the knockout. We see neither of them in my opponent's discard pile, but there again we don't see any VS Seekers in my opponent's discard pile either. So we see a Blacksmith. Realistically, I probably shouldn't have put the extra Darkrai in play because I don't think he realises he would have done more damage with Outrage right there. So we do finally get into this game a little bit, or potentially anyway. So we will Crobat, and we need to get ourselves another Eternatus down, but that doesn't appear to be the case. So at least we'll keep a fresh one. And we'll get an attachment to it. We are going to lose our little buddy Darkrai's that are in play, but it's not too much of an issue. And we do get another Zorua down, which is good. So next turn it allows us to get rid of some liabilities. So even if we get End here, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And we get another Zoroark from the prizes. And we get another Crobat from the prizes. So now we have potentially a lot about that. Even if we do get End, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. See greens. So thankfully Reset Stamp is available in Standard, but it is banned in Expanded, so we will not be seeing a Reset Stamp here, which is perfectly good for me. My opponent would need a Big Charm here to survive, as he did his attachment return already, and it wasn't a Heat Energy. So we would need a Big Charm, but we do have our Field Blower in deck, I'm pretty sure. So fight Fury Belt. Of course, that makes a lot more sense in Expanded. So we'll be getting rid of this, this, and this. Oh, click it properly. There we go. And we have the ability to put a lot of things into play, which is exactly what we're going to do. We could even potentially Guzma for turn as well. So we'll start with with Dark Patch, sorry. And we'll see exactly how many Pokemon we can get into play. one. Yeah, I think we've definitely just got the Guzma play. 2, and we only need 2 more, which we have Crobats here, there, and everywhere. And discard that. Grab this. I mean, I suppose it doesn't really matter. He would have needed to find both Fighting Fury belts there to be able to successfully win. We're not going to bother drawing with Crobat because we have just one here. So a very good game from my fellow Team Challenge member. I think he may just be sort of putting together some ideas for a Welder Reshazar deck and expanded so far. I don't think the heat energies are particularly good, but we'll see. Anyway, we'll be back for another game. Right, so we are back for game 3. And my opponent gives us a hello, and I will give him a heart hello back. We do have an absolutely awful start, and we are going first, so we need to top deck one of our 4 quick balls or ultra balls to be able to get into this game, because this is some next level atrocity. And we discard nothing of the sort. I'll find nothing of the sort, sorry. So we are just going to have to attack here and pass. So that's awful news. Cheers deck for bricking me, my bad. Oh, this game is absolutely spastic sometimes. Right. So we did a lot in that turn. Sorry, I had my concentration face on, so I was quite silent on that throughout that entire turn. We pulled off the Pokemon Ranger, so we cancelled out my opponent's ADP Altered Creation attack, which is, as I mentioned in the video, in the intro deck list, the whole reason why we play Pokemon Ranger, and we managed to get somewhat set up. So my opponent's downfall there was actually playing N. So we see a lot of random jazz going on. Muscle Bound, not a fan. Ultimate Ray, not good. But next turn, with any luck, as my opponent's got a lot of things in play, we'll be able to find our alternatives. So he is fully set up, but I mean, we're going to oh, well, that's just icing on the cake. We're going to reach maximum potential before he does. So we will draw X amount. That's all well and good. I think I'm going to save... No, I'll throw out one. And if he plays a Parallel City himself, then for me, for allowing that to happen, we are going to revive our Darkrai's. So we can Colress for a mass amount. I may even play the extra Crobat. But we do also have trade with Zoroark as well that we haven't used yet. So I think just Colress in here is absolutely acceptable. And there we see absolutely everything we could need. So we will Quick Ball away. Oh no, we don't have everything we need. We do need an energy. So we'll Quick Ball away, Ultra Ball. We will get ourselves a Zorua. We will Field Blower. This and I want to say this, so he's forced to put this into play. We do have this. And now we need an energy. Can we get one? And I figure we will trade away the Crobat. Energy was all we needed, deck. Awful. Awful game. So I think now we just retreat to one of these, get ourselves another Eternatus in play, and get this in play, and I think that's all we need, and we'll press done there. We don't mind benching out here because we do have Colress and all sorts. She draws cards, the Zoroark on the bench. There's the Silent Lab, so that's good for us to see. Because we do have the immediate counter in the Parallel City, and we do also get ends, which is very good. So my opponent either needs a Choice Band or a Float Stone, because nothing else will serve him any purpose realistically. So we see a retreat. That's fine by me, because now we're just about to wipe his board. And we do have N in the discard as well, although we are down 2 of our VS Seekers, which isn't good. So we do see another attachment here, but this is where things get disgusting for my opponent, because I'm going to wipe this station off the board, and I'll wipe the next station off the board, possibly with an Acerola play as well. And I have not discarded my Acerola, which means we've got more opportunity to draw into it. And we do also see a dark patch as well. I just dark patched onto the wrong dude. But no issue, we have more where that came from, and the 2 trades as well. So, as I was saying, speak of the devil, and he shall appear. We have Parallel City. And my opponent's probably going to get rid of the didnt, that's fine. This time, let's dark patch onto the right dude. There we go. And we will not be needing any more of these. And we down both of our hypnotoxic lasers. We are. So I think the correct manoeuvre here is not to play anything else down, actually, because we do want to be using Ace Roller next turn. So simply a didnt for knockout. And if my opponent doesn't attach an energy and Guzma here, which seems like is going to be the case. So we see a Lele for a Guzma, probably onto the Zoroark. If he tries to Guzma in the Eternatus, he will be in for quite the shot. So we see a Mallow and Lana, for whatever reason. Just wants to heal that extra 10 damage off, I guess. Is he going to discard the 2 energy with it as well? 2 cards, sorry. He is. Just to heal the 10 damage to make sure he doesn't lose, despite the fact that I'm going to knock out the Zacian and the Mawile. That is absolutely fine by me. That seems like the biggest misplay I could have ever seen. Someone healing 10 damage off an AGP with a Mallow and Lana discarding 2 seems a very poor idea. So, here is the big shot for my opponent. Let's put this here first, and we'll Ace Roller into this, put this back down, dark patch to it so it's going for next turn, so we'll have to discard an energy to be able to dark patch. And my opponent probably thought he was in some sort of winning position, but I will always make sure that is not the case. And I don't think there's any point in doing anything else. We're hitting for 240, so that's all we need. And at this point, my opponent must know it's over, because I've got 2 Zoroarks in play, so even if he ends me, I have so many things. If I could draw any one of 1, 2, 3, 4 cards off an Ender 2 and 2 trades, then we are immediately going to win. And obviously he's going to attack with this anyway, so that means that I win either way. He would need double energy switch and find a water here, or double energy switch and find a DC here to have any chance of winning. And once again, for you ADP players and Expanded, unlaggy Pokemon Ranger, unlaggy. Yeah, absolutely ruins ADP's day. There's literally nothing he can do. I don't know why he's even bothering to do anything. And that will be the end of the game. Yeah, a swift victory for my opponent. So salty as an ADP player. They always are the saltiest of players when they lose, because they think the card's so broke. But realistically, if you know how to combat it, it's not that bad, and this is why the ADP ban makes no sense to me. Not that I'm an ADP player myself per se, I have played it, I'm not really a fan of that sort of idealistic thing of Pokemon things breaking the whole rules of the game, but there again, God of War GX when that came out broke the rule of energy acceleration, and I played that through the entirety of the term it was out. So anyway, I will be right back again with the deck list. So, tick here if filthy, check. Tick here if it's the Gnar, check. Tick here if Ace Arola makes you just go to your opponent, and then watch them scoop, check. That is all of the things that this deck can do, and much more. We didn't get to see a dead end play, unfortunately. That's one of the funniest things this deck can do, just dead ending someone out of nowhere is hilarious. Hopefully if you guys play this deck yourself, then you'll have the opportunity to do that to someone, as it is the most satisfying feeling, just dead ending a Fighting Fury belted ADP. That's the most satisfying feeling. So anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please drop me a like, and please subscribe to the channel if you're new here, or if you're coming back and haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, it means the world to me. Please click the bell as well for upcoming notifications of all of the future content I will be doing, as I will be doing a lot of everything. I want to do more budget series videos, however, there isn't another Pokemon that's good that's currently in standard that begins with J. So I'm currently stuck until we get a Pokemon that begins with J to make our budget series continue. So again, I've been Sean the Buffalon, and thank you all for watching. Peace.